I'm going insane. Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take?
I don't know, bro. I don't know how much you can take. Give a nigga a break.
Give a nigga a break, because this week has been rough. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Ant Money Experience, the podcast unlike any other. Thank y'all for joining me, giving me a piece of y'all little humble time. I'm currently having little laptop issues, so I won't see your comments right now, but I will shout y'all out as soon as I get a chance. Y'all know it's the unscheduled unofficial start of the weekend, and glad that y'all are here. Hope y'all got good plans. I know it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but the weather's starting to get a little nice. It's almost that little thought weather. But speaking of shout outs, shout out to the most dangerous podcast network in the world, the Big Exclusive Network. If you have a podcast idea that you would like broadcast on a bigger platform, come on over to the winning team. Got some dope stuff planned on the rest of the year. But also, if you are here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the network. Get yourself a subscription as well. That way you can check out some of the bonus content that we can't necessarily show on any of the platforms that we got up here right now. But before we go any further, a message from our sponsors. Before I go any further, a special shout out to my brother-in-law, E. Happy birthday, good brother. Hope you are enjoying yourself. And if you are in Philly, I will be there to act up with you tomorrow. If you would like to be a co-host on the Ant Money Experience, make sure you slide in my DMs, slide in my inbox. Ladies, you know how to, you can get to the front. If you got an idea, if you got an effort, anything you want to present and you need a platform to present it on, come on over. I could definitely help you out with that. But ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my co-host for this evening. El Presidente, how are you today?
I'm feeling amazing. How are you?
That's good. That's good, because I didn't know if you was going to make it last time I spoke to you.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Just keep on keeping on, like the old church folks say. But before we go any further, let's jump into the If It Bleeds, It Leads. Now, producer, play my first clip, please.
Philadelphia is mourning the loss of an influential businessman who was a staple in the city for decades. Sid Booker has died at the age of 87. He was known for his shrimp corner business, his nightclub, his political influence, has a street named after him, Broad in Belfield, also known as Sid Booker Way. City Council President Kenyatta Johnson issued a statement calling Booker a legend.
Rest in peace to Sid Booker, a Philadelphia legend. Honestly, I never actually seen Sid Booker to know what he looked like. I just knew what his establishment was. On a late night, if you wanted some shrimp, you could definitely slide to Sid Booker's. El Presidente, I know you done had some Sid Booker shrimp in your lifetime.
I have. That was actually the first place I got my Tokyo tea.
Oh,
yeah. Party. I was underage, but I got my first Tokyo tea.
It's funny because I've only actually been inside Sid Booker's once. Rest in peace, Uncle Timmy, because I definitely should not have been there, but he definitely took me in there. I think one of my uncles was there and he was coming to pick him up. they might have had a drink. I don't quite remember because, like I said, I was 4 years old. But rest in peace to a Philadelphia legend.
Definitely.
87 is definitely a blessing. I like talking to old heads about Sid Booker's. I'm talking about like that was old enough to be outside in the 70s. Because Sid Booker seemed like it was quite a wild place back in the day. I never went there as an adult, but from what I understood, the drink still hit the same. But with that being said, producer, play my next clip, please.
Walk it out, now 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 west side walk it out, now south side walk it out, east side walk it out, north side walk it out.
Yo, one of that one song right there is why my damn knees hurt now. Okay, when you talk about was I in high school when that came out? Or I just graduated from high school when that came out, and everybody was walking it out. Everything he came out with, okay.
That was a time.
It was.
I was watching a clip, and they had like all the snap and pop music all back to back, and I was just like, damn, that was really a time.
Yo.
But rest in peace, DJ Unk. Most people will know him for Walk It Out. He had another song, Two Step. But from what I understand, he was kind of like a Diamond Cuts for Atlanta. So they was like, when he made songs, it was like, oh, that's cool. But they knew him more so from being in the clubs and just having it lit. Rest in peace to definitely an Atlanta legend. He had a time in hip hop, but rest in peace to DJ Unk. And he wasn't that old. That was when people die that young and they don't announce it, I don't go digging because I'm like, that can't be nothing good.
Look, when I tell you he's my age, or he might be a couple years older than me, I didn't want to know what happened. It's just sad. It's just sad.
But with that being said, also good people, make sure that you are going to get your checkups and stuff like that, because I'm actually due for one myself. Health is wealth.
Let me tell you.
With that being said, producer, my next clip, please.
Come in and chill with me. Come bleed with me. Go down your hair. You heard what Gucci said. Been around, baby. Come in and chill with me.
Trash.
First of all, I hate to see people mistreating their clients because that is crazy work right there. Extremely nasty work. First of all, what was your thoughts when you first saw that video?
My thing is, I knew she had to be young. That's number one.
Oh, for sure.
Because it seems like only young people do dumb shit like that. Number two, you spent your time and your money to be affiliated with this practice, to be able to treat patients. And this is what you do. Now, granted, okay, she has her story of, oh, he knew what he was cognizant, he knows what was going on. Okay, that's fine. That's between y'all. But why put it on TikTok?
Yeah.
How does everything gotta be documented on social media?
Like, he knew what was, first of all, I'm not buying that he knew what was going on. She was
he looked like he was drooling.
She was like, he's not nonverbal. He's alert. He can.
No, he wasn't.
Speak. And I was like,
he was sitting there drooling. He didn't know what the hell was going on.
Man, if he's alert,
hey Warren,
he's still impaired. But since that young lady has been arrested,
good.
And, shout out to that. I wanted to actually, I couldn't find the video I saw.
Did you see the mugshot
with the face blurred out because I was like, I don't like this being plastered on the internet. And then also putting that on the internet, that man still has family. It's people that care about him, shorty.
They kind of got that get back though. Did you see that mugshot when they snatched her wig off?
Oh man.
She looked like somebody. She looked like Fire Marshal Bill. My lord, that was terrible.
That was completely deserved, young lady. You are a crumb bum.
You're a crumb creep. I want to fight you. You don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum.
Was she fired?
I mean, she was arrested. I should hope with all this internet exposure she getting that she fired.
Hopefully, but you never know.
And I just like, I hate when I'm in a mall and I see people, like, granted, I'm not going to be the person to be like, oh, they shouldn't be in the mall, because there's still people, they still deserve a quality of life. I had one friend that would bring her client to the mall, and I was working in the mall. She would bring her client in, the client would look at like the jewelry cases and stuff. And like, it would, like, the client was having the time of their life, but I hate the ones where they be like cussing them out, grabbing them and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, you don't, it's like fast food. If you don't have good customer service or patience, don't jump into the field.
Exactly. Don't mistreat them. Nobody deserves to be mistreated because they're
Sure.
you're getting paid to care for them ultimately. So come on.
Well, some people deserve to be mistreated, but that's another story for another time.
Here you go.
But this next one is interesting. Producer, play my next clip, please.
Get off on the doorbell. Ring doorbell. We need you. What's going on?
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing here?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Hey.
The disrespect.
So that video is actually about like 3 minutes long. I wish I could play the whole video, but just to give the audience a little bit more context, that man is a real estate developer, I believe, in Ohio. And the video, as it plays, the lady said that she was walking up the street and she said she saw a car driving up the block. And I guess the guy, she was like, but you were looking at me. He was like, yes, because you were walking really slow and suspicious by my house. Yes, I was looking at you. I didn't know what you had going on. So the lady was like, you live here? So she was kind of going back and forth with him until his wife had came out and kind of was like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, you guys live here? You like, what are you doing here? The sense of entitlement in that statement itself is wild, lady. You are not the only person with money, but not to embrace you. But would that have gone different if it was another complexion?
Of course, you know it would have. She wouldn't have paid him no mind. She was completely condescending. Again, the entitlement. You're racist because you think that because he's a black man, especially with the locks, how dare you? Who are you? How dare you be in this neighborhood? You don't belong here. Because when he said to her, I live here. Oh, I don't believe that. Bitch, are you high?
So I remember I had a moment where I was walking up the street because I take long walks like twice a week. So I was walking and I'm literally walking up the street, earpiece in, and I'm having a conversation. You could tell that I'm talking and responding to somebody on the phone. And this lady was like, ah! And I'm like, lady, what? You think I want to bother you?
Yeah.
I want to be away from you just the way you want to be away from me. In the building that I live in now, when I got here, it was mostly older white people. As time went on, it's like a younger, more diverse group. And this past summer, I actually, for the first time, started hanging out with people in my neighborhood. And they were like, I never seen you. I didn't believe you lived here. First of all, I've lived here for years, but y'all would never see me because the people that's around. Mm-hmm. What up, Mac? Yo, definitely was a Karen.
Yeah, who are you to say that somebody doesn't live there? Unfortunately, times are not like they used to be. We don't know all of our neighbors. I don't see all my neighbors. People, and nowadays people rent like crazy in certain neighborhoods. So you're gonna see different people maybe month to month.
I mean, my parents live in the far northeast and they just bought a house in Georgia. So right now they're going back and forth, moving stuff like slowly. So it was funny because the people in the neighborhood was like, "You're not renting it, are you?" And my dad was like, you know, it was a thought. They were like, "Nah, you just need to sell it because the neighborhood is going through another change." And I'm like,
Yeah, it's changed up here.
"Wait,
People that used to be around here, they all gone."
Is this a DEI show? Is wow.
I don't even want to get on that topic.
Whoa. But producer, play my next video, please.
20 types of women you should always use protection with. Let's get Number to 1, if she has a tattoo, use protection. Number 2, if she drinks beer, use protection. Number 3, if she turns off her phone while she's with you, use protection. Number 4, if she's the first one to take her shirt off, use protection. Number 5, if she has short dye or sprayed hair, use protection. 6, if she don't ask for protection, use protection. Number 7, if she wears tight jeans, use protection. Number 8, if she doesn't when you touch her, use protection. Number 9, if she lives alone, use protection. Number 10, if she works at a hair salon, booth, or bar, use Number protection. 11, if she's a student at NIPA or UNZA or CBU, use protection. Number 12, if she wears G-strings, use protection. Number 13, if she has stretch marks on her boobs, use Number protection. 14, if she wears beads on her hips, use Number protection. 15, if she has a lot of male friends on Facebook, use Number protection. 16, if she supports influential politics or she wants to do politics, use Number protection. 17, if she has a ring on her nose and she has a chain on her foot, double the Number protection. 18, if she loves to say all men are the same, please use Number protection. 19, if her name is Maggie, Naomi, Rebecca, Katie, use protection. Number 20, if she takes this video personally.
That brother was preaching.
I'm a little offended. Offended and amused at the same time.
Did you feel attacked?
No, I don't feel attacked. I'm like, Dad, going.
Wow. Wait. Hey, yo, JoJo, stop playing with me. That look like me with an extra 20 pills. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my funny video of the week. I thought I had one more video in front of that, but I probably fucked up on that one. Ryan, what up, good brother? Yo, Big Exclusive said I'm offended. But no, when I tell you I watched that video, and I usually don't watch videos that are longer in length, pause. But I was like, you know what? No, he is cooking.
No, I watched that joint like 5 times when you said it to me.
Yo, producer, do I have that Eagles video in the tuck?
No.
Okay, I forgot that one. Well, back to regular scheduled programming. But yo, Ryan, when I tell you I laughed at that video so many times because he was cooking. And then he hit, if she's offended by this video, weird, huh? But no, I will not say shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles because this is not that type of atmosphere or show. But the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. And although I'm not rooting for the Eagles, I would like the Eagles to win for one reason.
Oh, so I will say this. I'm not an Eagles fan myself. However, I am rooting for the Eagles. Shout out. But you see, you know what type of fan he is. He may never go no fucking where. So
don't put that hurt on me.
Your team may never go nowhere. Big Exclusive. Don't be offended. It's okay.
Yo, the producer is being petty.
That's because his team is trash.
But no, the Eagles, I would not like I'll just say I don't want the Chiefs to win because I don't want the Chiefs to get three Super Bowls in a row.
Absolutely not.
I definitely don't want to see it. Ron, I see your comment about the girl that couldn't get in the Uber. She's actually a popular rapper in
I've
New
never heard
York.
of her.
She does drill rap. I won't say popular. She has a following, but apparently she wasn't allowed to get in the Uber. And Matt, close your ears. But I didn't play that video because fuck them fat bitches.
She was like
Just
500 pounds. Bitch, you're not getting in my car neither.
Just my personal opinion, but listen.
Look, she would not get in my car. Can you imagine being an Uber driver? Okay. Now, you saw the car was a little car. It's not like he had an SUV or a minivan. You pull up, you see a chick with like 5 stomachs. She was wide. She was like, and I'm not fat shaming whatsoever, but she was not going to fit in that back seat. She wasn't. There's no way in the world.
I don't give a fuck.
You're not putting that type of pressure in my damn car. That's why they have Uber XL. Stop playing with me.
That's what you know what? That's really what I said. She definitely should have
like you doing too much. And you want to say discrimination. It's not discrimination. They have Uber XL. They have Lyft XL. Like, stop. You know good and you Uber know that you like 600 pounds.
He said, not my axles.
once you booked that ride and you saw how little that car was, come on now. Stop playing with me.
She need an Uber train.
Ain't nowhere in the world. Can you imagine if he had a bump?
If he had a bump.
The top, like, come on.
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah. Uber ain't covering that.
And also, it was a share car. Ain't nobody else getting that back seat with her.
Stop playing. That wasn't no Uber share.
Look.
Or was it that thing like when they get on the plane and they gotta get 2 seats?
If you have to, it's already solidified. Just like you just said on a plane. If you're over a certain weight, you have to buy another seat. Granted,
yo,
I understand.
Sure, go to hell. I don't got time.
However,
but yeah, I
come
watched
on
that
now.
video and I was just like, you're fat.
No, but did you hear her stupid lawyer? She's being discriminated against, just like they discriminated against her. That's just like me saying, "Oh, well, I don't want a black person in my car, or I don't want a Christian person in my car." It's not the same thing.
Yeah, I think
larger size.
I think you have the right to be prejudiced. I don't want no bum bitches in my car. But Big Bag Zero Uber driver 1.
Damn, really, Ryan?
Hey yo.
Hey, no, he need to be suing her, especially if he got fired. Now I'm suing you because I got fired.
Yeah, and I just hate the recording everything. I mean, I think, one of my friends, we had this conversation one day, and she said, I think we should bring shaming back because when people were getting shamed, people carried themselves differently. You see what Lizzo did? Yeah. I didn't recognize her. She actually looked all right to me,
And don't get me wrong.
I don't think she was ever ugly. She just wasn't my preference.
Again, I'm not fat shaming anyone. However, we all have a sense of what our body types are. We know what we can and cannot do. And you knew you could not fit in that back seat. Stop it. Let's be honest with ourselves.
But when she saw, because you know how you can see the car before pull up, when she looked at that car, she said,
that's what I'm saying. When it comes up on the ride, like if the Jones say neon, like, come on, you're not fitting in that. You ain't fitting in that.
Nah.
Stop playing.
And since you're
not fitting in that, Kia. I don't care if it is a Stinger. You're not fitting in it.
And since we on a subject of neon, I hate to see fat ass people in neon tights. That bothers me. It really.
Or them skin color tights.
Yeah. Nah. Don't do it. But the video I actually was going to play was a young Eagles fan had a guy walked up to him and was like, "Hey, do you want a mystery Eagles prize or $1,000?" And the little boy was like, "I'll take the mystery Eagles prize." And he was like, "Hey, you going to the game?" And he was like, "Yeah, I celebrated." He was like, "What's wrong?" And he was like, "I celebrated at Children's Hospital." He was like, "Were you in the hospital?" He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "How many times?" He was like, 17 times.
17 times.
And he had like some rare bone disease where it's a lot of pressure in his back and like in his legs. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm constantly in pain. It just feels like somebody's punching me all the time." So the guy was like, "Hey, do you want to know what the prize is?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Before I say that, what would be your biggest dream or whatever?" And he was like, "To go to an Eagles game." And the guy actually gave him 2 Eagles tickets. I thought it was really dope. And then Action News actually did a segment on it where he got to the game and he actually got to meet Saquon. It was dope.
He
What
was
up,
so
Brandy?
adorable.
No see. I
He was
thought,
so adorable.
but
Hey, Brandy.
but you know what, producer? I'm sorry. Can you play the video again?
20 types of women you should always use protection with. Let's get Number to 1, if she has a tattoo, use protection. Number 2, if she drinks beer, use protection. Number 3, if she turns off her phone while she's with you, use protection. Number 4, if she's the first one to take her shirt off, use protection. Number 5, if she has short dye or sprayed hair, use Number protection. 6, if she don't ask for protection, use protection. Number 7, if she wear tight jeans, use protection. Number 8, if she doesn't when you touch her, use protection. Number 9, if she lives alone, use protection. Number 10, if she works at a hair salon, booth, or bar, use Number protection. 11, if she's a student at NIPA or UNZA or CBU, use protection. Number 12, if she wears G-strings, use protection. Number 13, if she has stretch marks on her boobs, use Number protection. 14, if she wears beads on her hips, use Number protection. 15, if she has a lot of male friends on Facebook, use Number protection. 16, if she supports influential politics or she wants to do politics, use Number protection. 17, if she has a ring on her nose and she has a chain on her foot, double the Number protection. 18, if she loves to say all men are the same, please use Number protection. 19, if her name is Maggie, Naomi, Rebecca, Katie, use protection. Number 20, if she takes this video personally.
Yo, Neef, your comment was wild, Neef. First and foremost, let me say this. In all seriousness, protect yourself out here, y'all.
Yes.
Seriously.
I was going to say PSA, use protection because they out here giving out some hot shit.
Yo,
I saw a post
where
a young lady from, I want to say Camden, made a post and was like, "If you fucked me in the last 5 years, I got AIDS." And I was like,
no.
She said, somebody gave it to me and I'm bitter against men, so I'm just giving it to all y'all. That scares the absolute fuck out of me. I mean, first of all, I'm not going out like Willie Lump Lump. It's going to look like that last scene in Menace to Society.
Neef.
Personally, because that is wild, extremely selfish, and reckless as shit.
Yo, did you see the TikTok of the John that says she had herpes? She has genital herpes. However, she still enjoys men to orally please her, and she does not say a word.
Yikes. Let me see. I got about 4 people that are watching from Facebook right now. PSA, every 1 out of 8 people has genital herpes. Protect yourself. I like to go in a room and be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, yeah, that's a crazy ass statistic, right?
Yo,
it's
my chart is on everybody's phone. Everybody got a my chart.
I was lying I brought it up and I checked like a reliable source on Google. And it was like, oh shit. Then I came up the room again. I was like, oh, it's 13 of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But with that being said, that concludes If It Bleeds, It Leads, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump into that lounge talk. Drinking a little rosé. So, for my wine cooler topic this evening, back to that comment real quick, Brandy. I remember when I was at Alany, I want to say my 10th grade year, and they really should bring this back. They did an initiative where they went to every high school in the city, and they gave like a real comedic approach to like talking about sexually transmitted diseases. And then they gave like a real serious speech at the end, and they gave free tests to everybody in the school that wanted the test. And the thing that was crazy about it is they said in every high school that they had gone to, they found at least one person that had HIV. And I was like, this is fucking insane.
Do they even teach health anymore in school? Because they've taken so much out.
I mean,
because we had those little cartoons and those little PSAs that they used to have us watching in health class. And like you said, they used to pass condoms out.
I learned about sex from West Coast Productions. Woo! If you were born in the 80s or the 90s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, I was doing a little research and I found they're still around.
Who's your favorite actress?
I don't really have a favorite. It's whoever looks good when I'm skimming past. So I remember I was listening to the Rough Rider song and they said Janet Jack Me. I did not know that they were saying Jack Me. I thought they were saying like Jack Mean. So I was like, who's Janet Jack Me? He was like a porn star. Wow. I was like, I heard it on the song. He was like, yeah, all right, nigga. First of all, why did you know the answer that quick? You freak. But for my wine cooler topic for this evening, there's the Carmelo James and Miro, I believe his name. No, it's not. It's another guy. But he has a fire podcast where he sits back and he interviews a bunch of celebrities, whether they be athletes or comedians, and he asks them a bunch of questions. So one question that I found real interesting that he asks is what was your 7 p.m. moment? So every time he says it, if you don't watch the show, it's like, what the fuck does that mean? Where was a moment in your life that it was one incident that happened early? It could be like teenage, it could be like young adult, but it was one incident that happened that changed the trajectory of your life for the positive.
Very interesting topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you mine first. So when I was in college, I wanted to be a lawyer my entire life. I get to my senior year at Temple, and the teacher, she got up in front of the class and said, you all are political science majors. I know that all of y'all want to be lawyers. Be very honest. There's only one person in the class that could get into law school right now. She was like, I sit on the board for Temple Law Admissions. So I'm also the head of this department. I know what everybody in here transcript looks like. And she was like, if you have to think about the fact that, am I that one person? You're probably not. She was like, honestly, that guy right there is the only person that's going to make it. The rest of y'all, you need to think of something else that you want to do with your life. And she was like, it's not to discourage you. It's just not for you right now. She was like, the average person in law school at Temple at the time was like, I want to say 32. And then she said, also, y'all growing up at a weird time because we were in the middle of the recession during Obama's years. And she was like, what's happening is a lot of these kids that are super smart are leaving medical school and then they're going to they're leaving medical school and just going into law school. So a person with that high of a IQ profile and academic career is going to get in before you every time. Yeah, actually, I spent a little time trying to figure out what I wanted to do after that. I went and I tried to be a probation officer, parole officer, because at that point I decided that I wanted to do something I won't say on camera, but it was only two ways that I could get into that field. It was the Army, or it was, well, the military in general, or being a police officer. And I was like, I don't know that I really want to be a police officer. Wow, Rick Ross. Wow. But no, so actually the Army was not my first choice. The Air Force was, Then I wanted to do the Navy, but the Army was really persistent. And at the time, they offered me the best option for what I was looking for. And I mean, I've been kind of set ever since. So what about you?
I think being a mom, becoming a mom.
Being a parent is trash.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Not at all.
I wish I could quit this job.
It's not a job. That's definitely not a job. See, me growing up the way that I did, I was very selfish. Okay, which of course you're going to be selfish. It's about you. I mean,
Yeah.
who else you got to look out for? Just you. But I never thought that I wanted to be a parent, and I think it was because I was scared to be a parent because I didn't think that I would be able to love someone that much or be able to sacrifice for someone. And that was just one thing. I would see people left and right getting pregnant. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You want to give up your freedom? Are you crazy to take care of somebody? You nuts. And then the moment I found out I was pregnant with my son, it was like everything just changed. Like everything, how I lived, how I even took care of myself. It just gave me a different perspective of life. And it's just been that way ever since. So it taught me that I'm not as selfish as I thought I was.
What up, Tony? I'm still as selfish as I know I was. And I encourage my daughter to be selfish. First. My mom never liked when I did that. Now, I had a good topic last week that I actually wanted you here for, but now that you're here, I was watching another podcast, and a young lady was saying how she was like, guys don't realize there's certain things that when you're on a date, you could say or do one thing. We could be having the best time ever. You do this one thing, and I know I will never talk to you ever again. Has there ever been something you did on a date, somebody, and it was just like, I mean, it don't necessarily have to be the first. It could have been 1 through 3, but it was something that happened on one of these dates that let you know, we're not going to lead to a relationship.
I think the one time, what did he do? I think he was talking about his son and his son's mother. And it was the way that I have so many things. Yeah, we know.
No, Shannon said she couldn't say filet mignon.
The store got to be 800.
She said she couldn't say filet mignon. She was over it. I said, dang.
She better know how to read the whole menu and not stutter one time. But I think it was the way he talked about his child and the way he spoke about his child's mom. It was just so negatively. And I'm like, okay, granted, I get we all have bad situations at times. We're not going to all get along. However, this is the person that you chose to bear your child. And why are you talking about her to me negatively?
Yeah.
If something happens between you and I, are you going to go back and talk about me negatively too? Like that's just a red flag for me. I don't appreciate that. Don't start off a date talking negatively about your children's mom. I don't like that.
Okay.
And your kids, because it was just very.
I mean, your child's mother. I could kind of see it because something could have happened that triggered that. I mean, I'm not bringing that up on a date. I mean, that's something you tell one of your homies, but your child is absolutely wild.
Mm-hmm. Like he was on some. Like the things he was saying about her was wild. It was crazy. And I'm like, okay, we literally just met. Why are you telling me all of this stuff? I should not know her whole life and y'all business within this half an hour conversation. And then the way he was speaking of his kid, it was like, damn, you really didn't even want this child. So like, this is your fault that your child is here. Like all you had to do is wear protection. That was just crazy.
Wear a condom.
Yeah, so like for me, if you're a man that has a kid and you're not taking care of your kid, that's an issue for me.
Understandable, definitely. People that don't take care of their kids don't prosper. Now, it was a two. The second part of it was there ever a time that you were having sex with somebody and they did something? You was like, oh yeah, we're not coming back here.
Okay. This is a little graphic, but we are talking about the subject. Okay.
I'm intrigued.
In the middle of him dining,
Okay.
this it took in.
Spit on that thing.
That was the end of that right there. That was the end of that right there. You don't do that. You don't do that. Have a conversation first and foremost before you even get into all that. Don't assume that everybody like that. When I tell you, I was like, never again. Never again. Never spoke to him again. And answer his phone calls. That's nasty. Don't do that. That's nasty.
That's wild.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Shut up, Ron. Don't tell me to grow up. I know what I like and what I don't like, and I don't like that.
I think that's. Did he make a noise when he did it? Did he?
It wasn't like taken back like that, like with the whole nasally thing, but it was a hot no.
I mean that.
I don't like that.
That is wild.
That's nasty. Like, what are you like? What are you into? Like, who you been messing with? That's nasty.
I want to know who he did it to that they actually liked it.
That's sickening. No, thank you. I pass.
You too freaky for me, homeboy.
I pass. I'm cool.
Oh shit! But woo! With that being said, producer, play my lounge talk topic of this evening.
Here's a little story time, you guys. On Friday, I was walking into my apartment complex, and I wasn't even at the door, and my former best friend, Alexa Sky, walked in. Out of it, I'm gonna just say out of it, and she had 2 other people with me, and she assaulted me. I tried to turn around and walk away. She punched me in my face, and then the other girl came in, punching me in the face, and then a guy came in. They were kicking me in my rib cage. I have a fractured rib. Knocked one of my veneers out. Yeah, not one of my.
Now, before I get into seriousness, they tinted that coupe, didn't they?
Yo.
But no. So just to give the audience a little bit more context to that conversation, Alexa Sky is a strip pole goddess. I admire that young lady's work, but that was her past life. But apparently, the person was a former friend, and I don't know if they were having like an argument or something like that. But in some kind of context, he told her that she wasn't a good mother. And he was like, everybody knows she's a bad parent. So my question for you is, have you ever had somebody tell you something negative about your parenting?
No.
Okay.
No, but her actions, that was trash. Like, you were never a friend. You don't do stuff like that. And if somebody's having a conversation with you and they're telling you that the things that you're doing as a parent is not a good look, I mean, just take the constructive criticism or ask questions. But to do something like that, come on now. My friends are able to tell me anything. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to get upset with you and cuss you out because you tell me you don't like something or I did something. You feel as though I did something wrong. I mean, come on now.
Now, what I feel is that it wasn't so much what he said. I feel like he might have said that during like a heated exchange already, and probably over the top. Now, have you ever had to tell somebody something about their parenting?
Absolutely.
What is your approach?
I'll sit them down. First of all, it's one-on-one. It's never around a group of people. It's one-on-one. And I'll give them a scenario. Look, I think that you went a little bit too far when you did X, Y, Z. Maybe you could have handled it this way. I mean, that's a super sensitive topic and a subject for a lot of people. So you really have to kind of wear kid gloves and just be mindful that people do have feelings and emotions. They may not know that what they're doing is is coming off a little bit too strong with their kids. A lot of people don't really have a sense of being nurturing. So a lot of times you just have to make sure you have a really gentle approach with that, because it's a really sensitive and touchy subject.
Yeah, I remember one of my friends was telling me something that happened with her son. And we were actually having a good conversation, but she was telling me whatever she was telling me. And I just remember telling her, like, yo, you shouldn't do that, X, Y, Z. And when I tell you, this lady cussed me out from A to Z to the point that I had to hang up on her, and we revisited this a couple days later. But it did show me that, like, talking to somebody about their kids is real touchy. And it's like, my thing is, when you bring this thing into the conversation, I'm not the person that you come to when you want to just vent. If you want to just vent, you got to let me know from the beginning. If you don't, but you want to just vent, I'm going to give you my opinion about whatever the situation may be. So when she told me the situation, now her baby's father was a piece of shit. But when she told me the conversation, I was like, I mean, I think you wrong in this because X, Y, Z. She was like, I think you should mind your motherfucking business. I said, damn. And for the long, I just wouldn't say anything about people and their kids. Now, my approach really hasn't changed. But before I get into this topic any further, producer, I want to know what the people got to say about it. And if y'all think I came here to play with y'all, god damn it, I'm not. But producer, drop that link, please. But I had a situation where one of my homies was telling me something about his kid, and I just like blurted out how I felt. And one of my other friends that was sitting there was like, yo, why did you say that like that? And I was like, listen, that's just the way I feel. She was like, no, you got to handle that with a little bit more care because that's his kid. Is already a sensitive subject. You see sensitive and like vulnerable about it. Like, you should handle that differently. I was just like, but I'm one of those people that in general, I show tough love. And I mean,
you can't be like that with everybody though, especially not with that subject.
Yeah.
You got to kind of pick and choose. I think that when it comes to friendships, though, I think friends should be able to have those hard type of conversations. Like, that's just like you and I having a conversation, or me and Shannon having a conversation. You know what, Tiff? I think the way you came off with your son was a little bit harsh. Maybe you could have approached it this way, being that he's a young man, a growing young man. You come at him like this, you know, just giving suggestions. Don't be so harsh.
I mean, it's kind of tough because I'm actually just, in general with men, I'm always just going to be straight up blunt. It's going to be just like, hey, it's X, Y, Z. I don't really show like a coddling approach when it comes to any of my friends or even family when it comes to certain things. I mean, anything outside of death or like maybe heartbreak, I'm going to just deliver my opinion very blunt. But I think with women, I tend to show a little bit more care.
You better. You want to get jumped and beat up like that. Be lumped up.
She called her girlfriend and one of her other homies, and he said, and they kicked me. I was on the ground and they just kept kicking me. Look at my teeth.
I'll tell you this: if Bull wasn't of the Rainbow Coalition, that would have never happened. She would have never did that.
Also,
I'm very honest with you right now. She would have never did that.
Also, I mean, he could have came off very sassy when he said it, which would have only would have only escalated the amount of emotion that she had. Then I believe he said that she was like a little drunk. So yeah, I mean, this equation adds up to an ass whooping.
No, absolutely not. That was a trash ass decision.
Violence is the only way that some people learn.
No, then that violence is not the way. Because what if then he would have turned around and he would have pulled something out and all of them would have been gone. Or say, supposing he'd have came back with his crew. That's just not the answer. That's just not the way. And they, like I said, if they were really friends, I mean, come on now. There's just another way to go about it.
If he would have rolled up on me with his crew.
Never mind. Never mind. Because I know what you're thinking about what his crew may have looked like. So we're going to, no.
Listen. I don't got time for you today, YMCA.
You ain't right.
Oh, man.
We don't got nobody that's brave that want to jump on? Wow.
I mean, these probably the same people that just drop their kids off with their grandmoms. Sorry, I'm joking.
Yo, see, you be the one in the corner getting lumped up.
Yep. I mean, I've definitely been punched in my face for things I've said in my life. It teaches character. Now, I've always
been say that again.
So it does not stop me from saying what I gotta say.
Oh Lord.
Because if I had a chance, I'd
letting for punishment.
Yeah. But I guess y'all scared of the topic. Producer, let's jump into that spotlight. Now, the producer has said to me that he is bringing back one of the best podcasts ever, the Big Exclusive Podcast with Angry OG, Big Exclusive, and Top Flight. Now, we pinned in as far as a date when they're going to come back, but my man is cooking up different concepts. He's cooking up different cuts and stuff like that. I can't wait to see that little white baby falling down a sliding board to the Busta Rhymes beat. But
I'm excited. But
the Big Exclusive Podcast will be coming back soon. I can't wait to see that. But thank you for joining me tonight, El Presidente. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Kind words for the good people.
Yep. Stay prayed up, stay blessed, check up on your people.
Did you see that?
I did see that, and I'm going to leave that alone, but you already know what that's about. That's because I said what I said about his little shitty ass team. I love you, Big Exclusive.
Got fired and his coach still got a job.
Oh. You know what? Like I said, stay prayed up, everybody. Love on your people, love on your family. There are some really hard times now. These next 4 years are not going to be easy. You see how this week has started. And
I mean, definitely.
Mental health as well. So just be mindful of that.
Also, make sure you are checking up on your folks. I mean, his actions weren't even the craziest that I've seen today. Rest in peace to the people that lost their lives in that collision at the Reagan Airport. That was a wild situation.
Yes.
I also, what up, Royalty? I also walked past there earlier, and they are still like searching through waters for people in airplane parts. And I'm like, that's a scary thought because, I mean, living in an area, there's like 3 or 4 military bases all in close proximity. It's nothing to see like jets and helicopters come through. But I mean, that was a routine situation. Trip. I mean, that was crazy.
But you heard what happened prior to that.
To the young man that fell from off of the top of that light pole celebrating the Eagles win. He was 18. I was celebrating, and I mean, the video of it itself was horrific to watch. And
yeah, I was down there.
Yeah, that was wild. Also, rest in peace to the individuals that, the young lady that lost her life coming home after celebrating the Eagles win and was hit by a driver. I'm not sure the circumstance, but Yeah, it's a lot going on. Make sure you check on your folks.
Be careful out there, y'all, because ICE is in Philly.
Hey, man.
You think my views is a bunch of illegals?
Huh?
I mean, aren't you?
I just dropped by just to show love. Tiff, this message is for you.
Skip on these motherfucking nuts.
And this message is for you.
Father, fuck you, man.
I want to thank my producer for coming through with that message. People, like I was saying, make sure you are checking on your folks. And y'all know how I like to end the show. Make sure you live every day like it's your last, but make sure you are prepared for tomorrow. God bless and good night.